If you've been doing nothing but grinding leak code for the past 3 or 4 months and you've been dreaming of that first six-figure offer from a FANG company, then this video is for you because I'm going to go over some of the common mistakes people make at job interviews that might seem really obvious, but they're really often overlooked. Hey everyone, this is Catherine. Welcome back to my channel. I'm a software developer as well as a coding bootcamp instructor, so of course I've been at both sides of the table. I've been interviewed as well as been part of a panel that interviewed potential candidates. So I'm going to give you guys the top 5 most common coding job interview mistakes, in my opinion, in reverse order, so stay tuned to the end. All right, so number 5. Failing to do specific preparation. You will not believe the number of people that show up to job interviews without having a single clue about what the company does or what their product is. Before you go into your job interview, spend a few minutes going over the job description carefully one more time. Think about how you would tailor your responses to the job description and be as specific as possible. Applying for jobs is extremely time consuming. Trust me, I get it. And if you have multiple interviews in a week, you might not feel like you have the time to take a deep dive into each company. But it is well worth your time. One of the most effective things you can do is to just spend a few minutes before your interview and go over the job description, think about or write down how your skills and experiences tie into each of those points. So for example, if I'm looking at a pretty typical job posting here for a software developer role. So it says here that they want someone with React and TypeScript experience who cares deeply about productivity and helping their teammates become more productive. So you could say something like, I help my team members develop reusable UI components in React and TypeScript so that it would save us a lot of time and effort in the long term. Again, the key here is that you tailor your responses specifically to what they mention in the job description. Right, number 4, giving generic or vague responses. So this ties really well into my previous point. For example, if one of the questions is, what is your greatest strength? Which, by the way, is a super cliche question, but don't hit them back with something like, oh, I'm a great team player, or I have great communication skills. That's just too basic, and it's a very canned, not authentic answer that everybody says. They are gonna forget you the minute you walk out that door. Instead, what you wanna do is maybe just look up some of the most common behavioral interview questions for software developers and maybe just come up with at least 5 or 6 different scenarios or stories that demonstrate the characteristics you want to portray. So for example, if you want to demonstrate leadership or empathetic qualities, maybe talk about that time when you stayed late to do some tech support, even though that wasn't really part of your job, but the team was short-staffed during a product launch and you just did what you had to do. Or maybe talk about how when you're assigning projects and tasks to different team members, you really thought about whether or not those projects and tasks align with the team members' strengths and their passions and their goals. All right, number 3, rushing into code too quickly. I see this all the time. When you're giving a coding problem at an interview, don't just start coding right away. Don't forget to ask clarifying questions such as, should I be optimizing for time efficiency or readability? What is the largest possible input? What are the constraints? How many users will we be supporting, etc. And when you're whiteboarding or coding, make sure to continually talk to your interviewers so that they understand your thought process and they can kind of steer you into the right direction rather than you just silently writing code on the whiteboard going in the complete opposite direction. They want to see that you can collaborate with other team members. The number 2 worst mistake you can do is bluff. I've done it before and I've seen it happen before, and you end up looking like a clown. I've tried to bluff my way in the past by saying that I've had experience with AWS when the most I've really done is upload static files onto S3. And the guy interviewing me was a cloud architect and he could easily tell I was bluffing. Especially if you are a junior software developer, your interviewer will expect that there are things that you don't know. It's very common. Being honest and telling them and being upfront that you don't have all the answers, but that you're eager to learn shows that you are genuine and most importantly that you are honest. In my experience, if an interviewer can sense that you are bluffing about your experience with a certain technology or language, it is a huge red flag and chances are you will be rejected. All right, so that brings us to the number one mistake, not making a good first impression. So I remember a while ago I was watching this video that another tech YouTuber named Tech Lead made, and in that video he mentioned that within the first 10 minutes he can predict with 90% certainty whether or not he's going to move the candidate on to the next round.
Because usually within the first 1 to 2 minutes of meeting a candidate, I already know whether I will be giving the candidate a recommendation to move forward or a rejection. Because the fact is, the interview process is very human. It is not objective, and you can either have me on your side or against you.
Look, I don't always agree with what Tech Lead says, but that comment stuck out to me because I think there is a lot of truth to it, and he's confirming something that I've always suspected. Remember that during an interview, you are talking to humans. You're not simply passing coding challenges on a whiteboard. You're not talking to machines, unless you're just doing like a HackerRank online quiz that they sent you. For better or worse, people are not 100% logical creatures, and they're gonna hire people that they like and get along with and consider a cultural fit. People are susceptible to all sorts of cognitive biases, and I'm not saying to pretend to be someone that you're not, but I am just saying get some practice. Don't let your nervousness or introversion get in the way of presenting yourself in the best possible light. And of course, the best way to do that is to practice, get comfortable, do lots of mock interviews so you don't go in there and you're just super awkward and can't communicate. All right, guys, so those are my tips for doing well on the communication side of tech interviews. If you found that helpful, please give this video a like and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Bye.